Today's lesson is about modifiers. As we talked last week about modifiers, modifiers are words, phrases, or clauses that provide description in sentences. Modifiers allow writers to take the picture that they have in their heads and transfer it accurately to the heads of the readers. Modifiers can be a word, a phrase, or a clause. Word, for example, cool and intelligent, Ken is the class hero. Phrase, the moment Michel saw the ghost, the hair on his hands stood up, showed where. Be careful with prepositional phrase. Clause, the girl whom you spoke to a minute ago is dead. Modifiers paint a picture or a better picture. Okay. That means modifiers add some more information about what they modify. Essentially, modifiers breathe life into sentences. Take a look at this dead sentence. Stephen dropped his fork. Stephen subject dropped verb, his fork object. No more information. Poor Stephen, who just wanted a quick meal to get through his 3-hour biology lab, accidentally dropped his fork on the cafeteria floor, gasping with disgust as a tarantula wiggled out of his cheese omelet, a sight requiring a year of therapy before Stephen could eat eggs again. So Stephen dropped his fork, subject, verb, object. We add many information here. Poor Stephen, an adjective modifies Stephen, who just wanted a quick meal to get through his 3-hour biology lab. An adjective clause or a relative clause modifies Stephen. Accidentally, adverb modifies drop. Gasping was disgust as a tarantula wiggled. Another participial phrase. Importance of modifiers. Why are modifiers important? Modifiers can be adjectives, adjective clauses, adverbs, adverb clauses, absolute phrases, infinitive phrases, participial phrases, and prepositional phrases. The sentence before contains at least one example of each. Adjective poor. Adjective clause, who just wanted a quick meal. Adverb, quickly. Adverb clause, as a tarantula wiggled out of his cheese omelet. Absolute phrase, a sight requiring a year of therapy before Stephen could eat eggs again. Infinitive phrase, to get through his 3-hour biology lab. Participial phrase, gasping with disgust. Prepositional phrase, on the cafeteria floor. Without modifiers, sentence would be no fun to read. Carefully chosen well placed modifiers allow you to depict the situation with as much accuracy. Now come to today's lesson, misplaced modifiers. A misplaced modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that is improperly separated from the word it modifies or describes. And it's far away, not after or before. Because of the separation, sentences with this error often sound awkward, ridiculous, or confusing. Furthermore, they can be downright illogical. Consider the unintentional meanings in the following. The young girl was walking the dog in a short skirt. In this sentence, you can see that the prepositional phrase in a short skirt comes after the dog. But the dog isn't wearing a short skirt. The person who is wearing the short skirt here is the young girl. So the young girl in a short skirt was walking the dog. The dog was chasing the boy with the spiked collar. The prepositional phrase with the spiked collar comes after the boy, but the boy isn't with a spiked collar or doesn't have a spiked collar. So the dog with the spiked collar was chasing the boy. Can see, as I explained before, what's wrong. The dog isn't in a short skirt and the boy doesn't have a spiked collar. So the modifier is misplaced. We have to think for a minute before we get the intended meaning. Placements. So the young girl in a short skirt was walking the dog. The dog with a spiked collar was chasing the boy. Misplaced modifier. Hence, misplaced modifiers are words that, because of placements, do not describe what the writer intended them to describe. So to avoid them, place modifying words as close as possible to what they describe, before or after. Be carefully with. Place a past participle phrase right before or right after the word it describes. In the living room, Paul kicked the television angered by the football score. Angered by the football score, participle phrase, but it doesn't modify or describe the television, modifies Paul. Okay? Angered by the football score, Paul kicked the television in the living room. So, place an adjective clause right after the word it describes. The landscaper wrestled the old lawnmower through the long grass that carved and chopped. The long grass that carved and chopped. The adjective clause that carved and chopped doesn't modify the long grass because long grass doesn't have the ability to carve and chop. The landscaper wrestled the old loner that carved and chopped through the long grass. An adjective clause begins with a word such as that, which, whom, who, whose, or who. I don't know about you, but I have never heard grass carved and chopped as I explained before. Now that's your turn. The patient talked about his childhood on the psychiatrist's couch. The question is to try and correct the misplaced or this misplaced modifier. The prepositional phrase on the psychiatrist's couch comes after the word childhood. But we don't or we can't do the childhood on the couch. So the personal phrase on the psychiatrist's couch modifies the patient. So we can say, on the psychiatrist's couch, the patient talked about his childhood, or the patient on the psychiatrist's couch talked about his childhood. The crowd watched the tennis player with swiveling heads. With swiveling heads, phrase, heads plural, player singular. So this personal phrase doesn't modify player, modify the crowd. So we can say, with swiveling heads, the crowd watched the tennis player, or the crowd with swiveling heads watched the tennis player. Vani put 4 hamburgers on the counter which she was cooking for dinner. The adjective phrase or relative phrase which she was cooking for dinner comes after the counter, but she wasn't cooking the counter. She was cooking for hamburgers. So Vani put 4 hamburgers which she was cooking for dinner on the counter. Okay? Number 4. Steve carefully hung the new suit that he would wear to his first job interview in the bedroom closet. The prepositional phrase, again, in the bedroom closet, comes after job interview. The job interview wasn't in the bedroom closet. So we can say, in the bedroom closet, Steve carefully hung the new suit. that would were to his first job interview. Anne ripped the shirt on a cardboard that she made in the sewing class. Again, an adjective clause that she made in sewing class comes after door, but it doesn't modify door here, modify the shirt. So Anne ripped the shirt that she made in sewing class on a car door. The newscaster spoke softly into a microphone wearing a bulletproof vest. Microphone or wearing a bulletproof vest, participle phrase comes after microphone, but the microphone isn't wearing a bulletproof vest or didn't wear. So it modifies the newscaster. Wearing a bulletproof vest, the newscaster spoke softly into a microphone. You also need to watch the placement of modifiers, such as almost, even, hardly, nearly, often, and only. A couple of examples should be enough. Look here. Big dog almost ran. Almost ran around the yard 20 times. He nearly ate a whole box of treats. Important is when he almost ran and nearly ate. Nothing happened. He didn't quite get around to doing either thing. What is intended is big dog ran around the yard almost 20 times. So almost comes before the number of times. He ate nearly a whole box to modify the word box here. Absolutely. I nearly napped for 20 minutes during the biology lecture. Nearly napped. Modifies napped. I can say I napped nearly for 20 minutes. I napped for nearly 20 minutes during the biology lecture. So nearly modifies 20 minutes. Only Nada reads that book, but no one except Nada reads that book. Only Nada reads that book. No one except Nada reads the book. Nada only reads that book. That means she doesn't read any other book. Nadia, I said Nada, sorry. Nadia reads only that book. That means Nada doesn't read any other book. But in number 4, Nada only reads that book. That means she doesn't do anything except reading that book. Dangling modifiers. When we talked about misplaced, we said that the modifier is not in the right place. I think we can stop for today about till here. Okay?